try!
Sam, a pretty special moment for the boys seeing Christian's name on that bench for the weekend.
Yeah, it's an awesome moment for the team, for Brumbies Rugby and for himself. So he's put in a lot of work over the last year, and I don't think people have seen how hard he's worked to get in the position he's in now. So it's very exciting news.
You guys don't need any extra motivation heading into a quarter-final, but to have him there in his first appearance at home in front of a big home crowd, there's going to be a lot, I guess, to get you guys up for this week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting to see him named in the 23. He's been a part of the squad all year, just doing everything he can to help us in different situations, and now he's got his chance to come off the bench, and that's a massive boost for us because he's one of my favourite players to play with.
How do you feel about this game on Friday night, given that the Hurricanes scored so many points? They have been probably the best team so far in attack in Super Rugby. How do you guys feel about playing them?
Yeah, they're dangerous, but as we learnt over there in Napier earlier in the year, we're up 21-14 at half time. We were playing some really good footy, and then we didn't play in the right end of the field. And we gave them too many opportunities in our own half, and if you do that against a team like the Hurricanes, they can really capitalise and hurt you.
So stopping their opportunities, is that the key?
Yeah, I think it's just playing smart football and going to our strengths, which is the set piece, and playing smart footy around the breakdown and playing in their half, not ours.
Do you feel as though you're very much the underdogs going into this game?
Yeah, we're more than happy to take the underdog tag. I mean, that's kind of historically what the Brumbies have had over the 20 years it's been in business. So we're more than happy to take the underdog tag this weekend because we enjoy that side of the game.
So do you think the Brumbies play better with that almost siege mentality?
Yeah, we do. I mean, historically, coming down to Canberra, you've got something to prove. You want to make sure that you make a run for it down here. So I've no doubt the boys will take that and keep that in the back of their mind for this weekend's game.
Obviously, everyone's been talking a lot about Christian this year. How good is it to finally see him back there?
Yeah, I think the greatest part was just to see him back on the training paddock. I think, it was an instant lift for the squad when he came back, and he brought a great enthusiasm. I think that's been the main thing, is to see how enthusiastic he's been about getting back through everything, I guess through his character. Normally you sort of see people who face such adversity, you sort of want to see how they react to it, and he's been so positive. It's been great for all of us.
Bernie was saying it's kind of almost fitting that he gets to make his comeback at home rather than kind of in Queensland where it looked like it was going to be.
Yeah, I guess fate's sort of gone that way, and yeah, I think if he gets the opportunity this weekend, he'd be pretty stoked. I think his family have been waiting to see him back on the field as much as we have as well. But yeah, look, I think it's a special occasion in all. I mean, it's a final, another home final for the Brumbies. A couple of years now we've had the home final, so we'll be looking to go one better than last year.
How confident are you that you can get over the Hurricanes on Friday?
Supremely, I guess you have to be super confident. They're a great team, and they've had an amazing season, and they just knocked off the Crusaders, who are undefeated. So you just got to have full belief. Otherwise, you're fighting an uphill battle throughout the game. I guess that's what Super Rugby is at the moment. Everyone has, great skill. Everyone makes the squads because they're very talented. But it really comes down to your belief, I guess, as an individual to help the collective, and that's why they're so good at the moment. They believe they're the best, and they are. So we've just got to sort of have that mindset heading into the game this weekend.
Scotty, did you think that Christian would make it back?
Yeah, I always did. I always believed that he would take the field this year, no matter who that was for. Just mainly because of the determination he's had throughout the whole entire process, and I guess it's an ongoing process for him. This is something he's going to live with for a couple more years to come. But just sort of the way he's attacked it and attacked it head on has been the amazing thing for me, I guess. So. Yeah, I always knew he was going to make a return to rugby in whatever capacity, and what special way than a final against the Hurricanes at GIO.
Because you visited him a few times in hospital, I think you might have been part of the group that came down from Wallabies camp at Gosford, that sort of thing. Like, what were those times like, seeing him there? Like, they must have been hard emotionally for yourself, let alone Christian.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty tough to see someone going through something like that. You know, I guess for myself, cancer's been a big sort of thing in my family as well. As my mum went through it for a couple of years, in my first couple of years at the Brumbies, so you know, I had a first-hand experience of what Christian was going through. But again, you know, as my mum did, Christian remained so positive throughout it. You know, maintained his character as well. Always tried to joke around when we were there and lighten the mood, which was great for us. You know, and you know, I guess a lot of people said, "Oh, it made it easy for us," but at the end of the day, it was really about him. You know, and that's all we cared about. And I think the way he is with his son and his fiance Lunga as well has been pretty special. You know, to remain a devout family man throughout the entire process and still trying to contribute to everyone around him. It's pretty unbelievable. So, you know, I live pretty close to them. They invite me over all the time, and I get to hang out with little Jeremiah and see his growth. You know, he's 1 year old now, and he's almost running around the house. He's a big boy. I told him he's going to be a future loosehead prop of the Brumbies, but I think Christian's cutting back on his meal plan throughout the week. So, nah, it's just great. You know, it's a great buzz for me and the group.
Steve, obviously, what everybody has been wanting to see this year, Christian back there on the bench.
Yeah, a very special moment for the team and for Christian. He's worked really hard to get back to this point, and was probably a little bit disappointed a couple of weeks ago when we tried to get him right for the Reds and pulled up a little bit lame with a hamstring, but he's applied himself since then, and he's ready to get out there this weekend.
He had a session yesterday. He obviously came through that with flying colours.
Yeah, he did, and that was a test just to make sure, because we've been overseas for the back half of last week, and we'd lost a bit of contact with the boys back here, and we just wanted to make sure that those guys were ready to go before we selected the team. And yeah, Christian went through his paces yesterday and got through it quite nicely. But he's been training for the last 3 months, and he's been one of the standout trainers. So a little bit of a setback against the Reds, and now he's ready to go.
We've talked a lot about the boost having him back amongst the boys brings, but to have him back for a quarter final, it's pretty ideal, isn't it, for a bit of extra motivation there?
Yeah, I think the goal for Christian was to get back and play rugby, and once he'd achieved that, he played in Singapore. He played 4th grade with his brother, and then the natural competitive instincts came out in him, and he wanted to play at that next level. And we'd almost put him out there for the Reds, which would have been in Brisbane, but this is, I think this is more fitting. This is in front of the people who've supported him through this long journey, and yeah, I think it's very fitting that he's out there this weekend.
Is it an emotional time for you, Steve? You're pretty close to Christian to see this comeback. How do you feel emotionally about it?
Pretty good. I think you know, I've seen him build himself back up. I've seen him go through some really difficult times, and I've seen him push himself beyond breaking at times to get right for this. So it was an emotional journey, but now there's good focus within the team. I mean, great story for Christian, and certainly fitting for him to come back in front of his home crowd. But you know, there's real good motivation and energy in the group at the moment, because we've achieved the start of what we set out to achieve, which is to get to the finals.
Did you think that he'd make it this far? Did you think he'd get here?
Yeah, I was always very optimistic. I think that's kind of my nature, but yeah, we sort of sat down after he was diagnosed, and we sort of mapped out a bit of a path, a rough path, because we knew there were going to be setbacks along the way, but a rough path to getting back and playing rugby. And yeah, my goal, I guess, was to get both Christian and Thomas back for the finals.
What sort of role is he going to play? How are you going to use him?
Well, we'll just wait and see. We'll see how the game pans out. So obviously coming off the bench, and the guys who are starting have been in pretty good form. I think if you look at particularly Andrew Smith, Tavita Kurandrani in the centre combination, they've been doing a fantastic job there. And Wharanui's played every game for us this year, and he's been improving with every game, and he's been one of our standout performers. So there's no real need to get Christian on the field, but I think he'll give a nice energy boost to the boys when he does come on.
Did you think about starting him?
Yeah, that was a consideration, but again, just looking at the combinations and making sure that the guys who've been there all year and working on a combination all year get that opportunity, because for me, I think that combination, particularly in the inside backs, is going to be key.